right, this morning investigators are desperate to find out who's responsible for 3 separate package explosions in 10 days.
Experts say these explosives are sophisticated, and as you can see from the map, they are showing up in random parts of Austin. This morning, Larry Seward is there to explain what we know about the victims.
Good morning. Austin police still working with the FBI and ATF. No known motive, no suspects certainly named at this point. Behind me, you can see this is still a crime scene here near the latest explosion where a 75-year-old woman was hurt and is in critical condition at last check. 2 people killed, 2 people hurt in the last 10 days in package bomb explosions. This one again here in a neighborhood on the southeast side. Again, authorities say that all of the packages that exploded are all average size. They do not know what type of explosive was used. They believe they are all linked together. They do not know the person or persons behind it. But again, that is something they are still digging into and hope to have more information later this morning. Some of the neighbors here waited until the wee hours of the morning before they were able to get back into their homes. There is still that much work to do. In Austin, I'm Larry Seward. Back to you.
Thank you, Larry. And Governor Abbott is offering a reward of up to $15,000 for information leading to catching whoever is doing this. Of course, we'll continue tracking this investigation and bring you new developments as they come in on air and on KHOU.com and the KHOU app. Remember, we are always updating you live on Twitter and Facebook as well.
All right, it is 5:02 and time for your morning rush. New overnight, a driver outside Highlands at T-boned a Toyota after running a stop sign. Witnesses say the woman then kept going and slammed into a ditch with her 4 children in the car on East Wallsville Road. The kids were wearing seatbelts and everyone is expected to be okay. The law enforcement community mourning the loss of one of their biggest champions. Mary Penny, who ran Project Blue, was killed after severe storms in East Texas forced a tree on top of her tent. Penny's brother plans to continue her nonprofit, which helps officers who are injured outside the line of duty. More than a foot of snow is expected to slam the already storm-battered Northeast today. Right now, much of the Massachusetts coast is under a blizzard warning. If you're flying out that way, be sure to check the status of your flight before you head on over to the airport. Today, Republicans plan to share their House intel report with Democrats. Their initial report says there was no collusion or coordination between Trump's presidential campaign and Russia. And the adult film actress who claims she had an affair with President Trump wants to make a deal. Stormy Daniels is offering to give up the money she was paid to keep quiet so she can tell her story. President Trump denies the affair. And that is your Morning Rush. Brandy.
Thanks, Lisa. This morning, President Trump is headed to Southern California to inspect the 30-foot-tall prototypes for his U.S.-Mexico border wall. And one of those prototypes was made by a business right here in Houston. Because there's a local business in the running, we want your take. Do you support building the wall? You can vote all morning on our KHOU 11 mobile app or online at KHOU.com/vote now. While you vote, our Michelle Choi is live at Texas Sterling Construction in North Houston. Michelle, what do we know about this company?
Well, Brandy, the Texas Sterling Construction is just one of a handful of companies that had a chance to build these 8 border wall prototypes. Now, as we all know, President Trump built his political platform promising to, quote, build a wall. And while these walls were actually built in California for testing, it's going to actually have a major Texas impact because the Lone Star State will take up more than half of the nearly 2,000-mile-long border. So what kind of wall did Texas Sterling Construction actually build? Well, here's a 3D model by Washington Post. It's a concrete wall. Some of the requirements for the prototypes, well, officials required it to be 30 feet high, difficult to scale, and resistant to tampering or damage, all while making it look good, too. And as you can imagine, not everyone is on board with this. In fact, from Los Angeles to San Diego, protesters have been gearing up for the president's visit, voicing their concerns.
I think that security for our nation is extremely important, but the wall is not the way to go.
And get this, Congress is gearing up to spend nearly $1.6 billion to start construction on the wall. Now, President Trump is expected to take a look at these prototypes later this morning. Back to you.
Well, good morning. We are starting off this morning nice and clear here, but I wanted to show you here along portions of the Northeast. This is the 3rd nor'easter in a row. So they are going to continue to see over the next 24 hours really additional rain and snow. And if you are planning to travel, any flight plans that you have, don't be surprised if they are delayed or canceled. We are going to start to see some of our flights here locally and even through the West Coast. I mean, it's going to be a big problem here if you plan to travel over the next 24 hours. Here locally, though, we're starting off nice and cool this morning. Our 24-hour temperature change from yesterday, it's anywhere from 6 to 13 degrees cooler. But who's going to complain? 40s this morning, 37 in Conroe. And the reason why our temperatures continue to drop overnight like they have been, because of the clear skies. So another day with maybe a few high clouds, and that should be it. This is a live look from the Marriott Marquis downtown. Picture perfect clear skies throughout the day today. Pollen will still be something people are talking about, but with all of this sunshine, really, it's the day to get outside. Today and tomorrow, temperatures will be just about the same. Low 70s start to move back into the forecast. So with all the sunshine and the clear skies, we should be about 2 to 3 degrees warmer compared to yesterday. Then overnight tonight, we'll be falling quickly into the 60s and then even 50s. What's nice to look at our radar here locally. Again, we've got a few high clouds, and that is about it. Winds still out of the north. They will be shifting out of the southeast starting late tomorrow into your Thursday and then into your Thursday and Friday forecast, and that will pump in the added moisture. Again, here's that big nor'easter pumping into the northeast. We're still expecting additional snow of 3 to maybe even 6 inches on top of some of the 6 to even foot totals that they've seen over the past 24 hours. I mean, it's really kind of hard to wrap your brain around, but over the past 3 weeks, they've seen one right after another. And in fact, this system that's there was the one that impacted us last week. So the good news is we're going to keep it nice and calm. Even through the upcoming weekend, temperatures will climb back into the low 80s here locally, and then more mid 80s as we start into the beginning of next week. But Darby, that nor'easter, I mean, the third one in a row, they just can't catch a break.
I mean to tell you, that East Coast is really being hammered. Well, good morning to you. The weather's good here, so's traffic. Not too bad.